Okay. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamanitanjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha Yam Pravajantam Anupeta Apeta Krityam Rapaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti Tan Maitaya Tadavo Binedus Tam Sarvabhutam Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshay Kiptascha Kamari Tarangamadye Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanna Brinde Namaste Charanara Vindam Tave Vasmi Najivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tvam Nayanam Charanandike Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, we're going to begin by offering our most humble, respectful, grateful obeisance unto the lotus feet of our beloved Gurus, unto Sri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Pavishta Om Vishnu Pad Asto Tarasata Sri Simad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and unto Sri Guru Pada Padma Nitya Lila Pavishta Om Vishnu Pad Asto Tarasata Sri Simad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and unto our exalted Rupanuga Varga and all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. So, today is the next to last day of the Julana yatra, the swing festival. So we didn't complete the second part of the Ananda Vrindavana Campu. We read all about the arena, right? The beautiful arena arranged by Jogamaya, Purnamasi, and Brindadevi, and the Vanadevis. Everything set up so marvelously. And then the gopis are arriving, and they're waiting for Krishna. So we won't go over that again, but just remember how this entire field was surrounded by beautiful trees, tall and straight like columns. What were they? They were colored like what? Some of them were like sapphires, and that the trees themselves created an entire canopy, all of their branches joined together like a dome, and through the little gaps in the leaves, the moonlight filtered down, sometimes seeming like strings of pearls, sometimes seeming like little piles of rice and sesame on the ground. Just beautiful. And birds came, alighting on every tree all around, singing. Deer were there. Gopis came and were all around in this arena. And then in the very middle was a large square platform with 4 large trees on each corner, and they also, in the middle, supported a beautiful swing. This is Radha Krishna's swing, and at the junctions, at the point of northeast, south, and west, there were other swings, little kunjas opposite each of these spots, and the descriptions of the decorations, very, very beautiful. And they had assembled sachets full of powder to throw, and syringes with beautiful oils and scents and flower bombs. Everything was ready for a magnificent festival. So we'll take up from where we left off the other day, right? So, anxiously awaiting the arrival of Radha Krsna to start the festival, each of the gopis the jewels among women who were more beautiful than the soldiers of Cupid, thought that she would swing first. That's the nature of love, right? We talked about that. Krishna loves me the most. That's such deep mamata, such deep affection. And that creates a very beautiful atmosphere. Nobody feels neglected or less, right? And Krishna does so many special things to confirm that. When he's taking lunch with his cowherd boyfriends, everybody feels that Krishna's sitting right across from me and talking and joking with me, right? Even though if you look from a distant place, Krishna's in the center and there are concentric circles of cowherd boys all around, but each of them somehow or other thinking that Krishna's with them. And of course, during Rasa Leela, Krishna's with each gopi individually. And sometimes during the day, he's with the cowherd boys and with the gopis simultaneously. So, the gopis entered the 4 areas around the main arena while discussing this among themselves. Out of excitement, they made a din with their loud laughing that resembled the sweet cooing of the cuckoos. Krishna entered the swing arena with his left arm resting on Radha's shoulder, holding his flute. In his right hand, Krishna twirled a lotus flower while his bangles chimed happily. Okay, so he's got his left arm on Radhika and the flute there, and then in his right hand, he's twirling the pastime lotus. Remember when he did that with the Mathura Ramanis? And twirling that lotus when they came before him with all their food offerings, he was indicating to them, right, this is like your heart. I've captured your heart. So, a pleasing peacock feather topped his reddish turban that tilted attractively to one side. Krishna's elegant earrings and ear lotuses swung in the breeze, created by the bees circling his head. Fine cloth kissed his limbs, lit by the jewels of his crown and bracelets. Krishna shone attractively with his pearl necklaces, tinged red from the rays of his Kaustuba jewel. Light, delicate footsteps accented his graceful yet playful gait. Jeweled anklets and bells adorned his lotus feet. Krishna, his splendid lips shining, appeared somewhat drowsy from chewing betel nut. Yet, his effulgence easily defeated the combined radiance of all the jewels adorning the ladies in heaven. Wow. So simple, and yet so much opulence is there. Remember when Srivas Pandit at the Rath Yatra ceremony on the day of the Hara Panchami, when they witnessed the drama of Lakshmi coming to find her husband and tell him to come back. She comes so opulently dressed with jewels and ornaments, and her servants as well. And Srivas Pandit is, because he's Narad Muni, and his Ishtadev is Lord Narayan, right? Sankarshan. So he's very overwhelmed by the sight of this opulence, and laughingly he jokes about, oh, how Vrindavan is so much less. That look at the opulence of my goddess of fortune. What do you have in Vrindavan? Just some leaves and flowers, right? They decorate themselves with the minerals and they make their jewelry out of flowers. And then Sup Damodar speaks to him and counters all of that and says that, oh, in Vrindavan, even one grain of sand is more opulent than all of Vaikuntha. Right? And so even though it appears that it's very simple, rural, right, farming, just, nevertheless, he's so beautiful. He's chewing betel. His effulgence defeats the combined radiance of all the jewels adorning the ladies in heaven. Right? So, and Krishna's effulgence took the shape of a jeweled mace, that's a club, to announce his entrance into the bower of jeweled trees. As Krishna and his servants ascended the dais surrounding the swing, the birds screeched, "Victory, victory!" See, in this world, sometimes, somebody will enter an arena or a stadium, right? Like they got a big, what do they have? The World Wrestling guys, and you got like 50,000 people in the arena, and then some big guy like Hulk Hogan, there'll be a big ramp, and then they got the spotlight, and they come in, and the music is playing, and drums are beating, it's going, oh, yeah. The mundane reflection of this, or, like a political rally, and then Donald Trump comes in, everyone's USA, USA. But imagine this in the arena of the Rasa Lila. We already heard the incredible beauty of it and the description of the moods of love, the pure love in the hearts of the gopis and all the assistants around creating that mood. And then Radha and Krishna, the very embodiment of beauty and love themselves coming in. And their effulgence, their self-effulgent, more effulgent than all the jewels in heaven, all the jewels in Vaikuntha, and their own jewels and decoration are also sending effulgence everywhere. And the trees and creepers felt such rapture that their limbs erupted with tiny bumps, and honey streamed down like a torrent of tears. When the peacocks stared at Radha and Krishna, they thought they were seeing dark rain clouds flashing lightning. Though knowing Radha and Krishna from before, due to their unprecedented love, the peacocks madly cried out, "Kayo! Kayo!" Who are these two persons? This is the nature of love in Vrindavan, that it's ever new and ever fresh. And even though Radha and Krishna and the gopis, they meet every day, at times Srimati Radhika and the gopis and the peacocks feel, because Krishna is ever fresh, more beautiful, more stunning every day. Who is this? I've never seen him before. Right? And the peacocks now, they're so astonished with love. Who are these two persons? Different celestial denizens joined Krishna and the gopis to celebrate their julana lila. In attendance, there were charming charanas, male and female kimpurushas, and the wives of the siddhas, beating expertly on madala and panava drums with their delicate hands. Right, they play the drums very delicately and beautifully. Srila Prabhupada one time described one of his own disciples that when he played the mridanga, it sounded like raindrops. Very sweet, very soft. The spotless heavenly damsels from Svarga and the Apsaras, directed by Urvasi, she's the chief of the Apsaras, the most beautiful, held chamaras as radiant as waves in the Mandakini River. They showered fragrant flowers from the Nanda Kanana gardens, that's Lord Indra's gardens in Svarga, which glittered like stars as they fell through the sky. Oh, so they're throwing these flowers, and as they come down, they're glittering like stars. God, what a scene. In this atmosphere, Krishna mounted the attractive, comfortable seat of the swing. Krishna looked like a regal crest jewel sitting on the cotton seat. The cloth covering the seat was whiter than the foam that appeared during the churning of the milk ocean. Shining pillows also adorned the beautiful seat. Seeing that amazingly wonderful swing purified the vision and empowered the eyes to see other objects in a fresher way. Everything they were seeing was fresher and more astonishing at every moment. And it created a mood of intense ecstasy because the feeling was, all this is for the pleasure and happiness of Radha and Krishna. And because their love is so selfless and one-pointed, the nature of kamatmaka love, persons having that kind of love, is that every thought, every action, every emotion is all meant for the happiness of Krishna. So their joy in seeing all of this was unbelievable, unimaginable. So, and ever fresh. While the devatas played sweet music, Mukunda and Radha marveled at the intricate workmanship of the jeweled lamps illuminating the swing. Even Krishna's astonished and overjoyed at the efforts and the creative genius of his devotees creating this arena. Trembling out of ecstatic love, Radhika and her friends sat beside Krishna, who rested his left arm on Radhika's shoulder. When the Lord ascended the exquisite swing and displayed his sweet beauty, which defeated the fickle currents of a river of nectarian beauty, the devatas and their wives lost all composure. As the ardent desire of the devatas' hearts to get a closer view of the divine couple moved out of their hearts to express itself, it choked their throats. With that hope, they left the middle sky and descended to the more favorable lower borders of the sky. So they were sitting in the balcony, right, up in the clouds, way up there, and they were so overwhelmed with love, they had to get closer, just crowding in now, getting as close as they can to witness all this. When the lotus-eyed Chandravali and other gopi group leaders beheld the especially intimate feature of Krishna sitting upon the swing, their eyes sparkled with blissful love. The gopis, adorned with colorful makeup and tinkling bells, mounted their respective swings and loudly sang sweet songs in the appropriate tempo. Chandravali and her group sat facing Murari. Bhadra and her associates sat on his right. Shama and her followers to the left, and Dhanya and her assistants sat behind Murari. So remember, we heard the different groups on the four sides. Right? Dhanya, where have we heard that name? She was the leader of the young gopis that were going to observe the Katyayani Vrat. Right? So, crowding the four outer yards, other joy-filled gopis sang melodious songs with the finest artistic skill. Their effulgent complexions conquered a garden of golden creepers. As they softly vibrated their seven-stringed venas, the gopis produced pleasing ambrosial music of unequaled excellence. Holding on with one hand and swinging their bodies, the gopis moved gaily on the swings as swarms of bees followed them. So now there's many swings. Everybody's swinging. And so holding with one hand, waving their arms, holding their items of worship, they're just in ecstasy, swinging. And bees are everywhere. Why are bees there? Because they're attracted to the flower-like fragrance of the gopis. With their free hands, the gopis took fistfuls of powder from the bags tucked in their belts and forcefully threw it into the air while their bangles jingled along. Scattered here and there by the wind, the colored powders spread a red hue through the sky like a screen of fresh Java flowers. The devatas, anguished by this obstruction to seeing Krishna's pastimes, repeatedly showered flowers to remove the recurring screen of dust. It appeared the clouds dripped flower nectar. So they're competing there now, right? And by each action, they're enhancing the atmosphere. So you've seen films of those festivals of color that they do in America now. My godbrother Charu initiated that in Utah, and now they do festivals in different cities. And all these people who come, they all get bags of color, like that. And at a certain time, they all start throwing them. And even in this world, there's this inferior version of it. When you see it from above, from a drone, it's amazing. It's like a rainbow cloud above everybody. So imagine this, these colored powders creating an entire atmosphere and clouds, and the devatas, now we can't see, and they're throwing flowers down, and the flowers are being covered by this nectar, and through the clouds all these beautiful effulgent glowing flowers are coming down. What a sight that must be. As the manjaris, all for the pleasure, viewing pleasure of Radha and Krishna. And they're not only seeing that, but each of these actions, the powder, the throwing of the powder, the throwing of the flowers, these are all expressions of love of the different devotees. So Radha and Krishna are not only seeing it, but they're tasting it as an expression of love from their devotees. And so their hearts are even more filled with joy. And the devotees who are watching this, seeing Radha and Krishna so happy, they become even more joyful. And then seeing them, the devotees, the gopis, and the devatas and their wives becoming more and more ecstatic, then Radha and Krishna become more ecstatic. And as the manjaris gracefully pushed the swings, Vrinda and others shouted, Jai Ho, Jai Ho. So here we see some of the service of the manjaris in all of this. They're pushing the swings. Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Vilas Manjari, Guna Manjari, Labanga Manjari, right? Nayana Manjari, Kamala Manjari, all beautifully engaged. Ramana Manjari. While blissfully absorbed in swinging, Radha and Krishna hurled colored powders on the gopis. When Chandravali and other Sakis returned the volley with their powders, Radha and Krishna revealed a unique state of fresh beauty. As the powders thrown at Krishna blew away in the wind, the gopis filled their reddened hands with sandalwood powder and other fragrances to balm Krishna again. Radha's friends, who were experts in shooting peachkaris full of sweet-smelling colored water, assembled around the swing of Radha and Krishna. So now her group is there, and then suddenly Chandravali and her Sakis attacked Radha and Krishna with peachkaris full of color. With their jeweled peachkaris loaded with scents and glittering like the moon, Radhika Sakis counterattacked Chandravali and her group with a fountain spray of color. Aimed mainly at Chandravali, the spray of liquid scent did not even once touch the bodies of Radha and Krishna. Gathering their forces, Radha Sakis, who were eager to win the battle, shouted, I am winning! I am winning! In the pandemonium, a few more gopis picked up peachkaris and wildly squirted other gopis. So that must be like syringes, right? In the excitement to win, some bottles of liquid fell and broke, releasing thick streams of bagru and sandalwood-scented liquid over the ground. We heard about those earlier, those little bottles made from flowers, right? Holding all these beautiful scents and colors. And so now the entire ground is covered as well. When the flower bombs being forcefully thrown from all directions came too close to the son of the king of Vrindavan, the gopis deflected them. If, however, any bomb happened to hit the dark blue body of Krishna, Radhika happily wiped it off with her soft hand, moistened from perspiration. Feeling disturbed, Krishna lost his composure upon seeing the condition of the gopis. He was afflicted with pride and apprehension. So what does it mean, feeling disturbed? When we say disturbed, what do we think? Oh, bothered, right? No, this is disturbance of the heart, a special kind of pride, apprehension, these emotions excited by this frenzied activity, let's bomb Krishna out of love. And the other gopis, what did it look like? They're throwing these colors and everything, and the other gopis, like, again, mundane example, but if you've ever seen videos of when they try to bomb, Jerusalem or something with missiles, right? And all these streaks are coming in, and then these other missiles are going up to intercept them, and then they hit, it's like fireworks everywhere. So they're competing, right? Their missiles of love and colors are going towards Krishna, and the other gopis are throwing colors, and they're intercepting each other. And it's like fireworks in the sky of color and beauty. And sometimes they hit, and Krishna becomes even more beautiful. And that makes everybody so happy. And then Radhika wipes it off, and then he becomes more beautiful, and they want to cover him again. And Krishna is overwhelmed with love during all of this. So what is he thinking? To increase the pleasure of the doe-eyed gopis, who gazed at him with shy, downcast eyes like chakoris agitated by the moon, Krishna abandoned all rules of formal conduct and followed the whims of Cupid. Witty, humorous, and controlled by his consorts, the brother of Balaram, rolling his eyes in desire, challenged the groups of gopis facing him on all sides, eager to play holy with him. Skillful at sport, Hari smashed the gopis in the southern direction with a deluge of colors. Krishna's fighting back. While moving on their swings and firing red powder at Krishna, the beautiful gopis appeared as victory flags of cleverness. Right? So they're all swinging, all throwing. You're throwing, they're swinging back to dodge it. They're throwing just perfectly to intercept at the height of the swing. But Krishna's so expert, the gopis are so expert. Then Krishna subdued the playful, blissful girls on the northern side. Next, he defeated the gopis and their associates in the western direction, who kept swinging the whole time while strongly desiring pastimes of enjoyment. Their eyes and bodies defeated the beauty of lakes full of lotus flowers. Then he conquered the elegant, excited women on the eastern side, who were particularly attractive, being seated on swings directly opposite him. While swinging and throwing ruby red powder with his lotus hands, Krishna shared a seat with Radhika, who possesses the limit of all excellent qualities. After winning the battle of Holi, Krishna, smiling brilliantly, desired to please the different groups of swinging gopis. Starting in the eastern direction, that would be Chandravali's, right? He faced each group and dexterously moved his swing in two different directions. When Krishna swung east or west, he moved the swing directly towards the gopis in those directions. When he swung to the north or south, those gopis sat next to him. In the joy of such counter-swinging, Krishna's necklaces, forest garland, and shining earrings all joined in the festival. So he's swinging east, and then he turns himself around and he's swinging west. And so they all get to join with him. They synchronize their swinging. Sometimes he's going like this, and they're going with him. Then he's going like this, and they're going with him. Then he turns around, north and south, and all are participating with him. Sri Krishna enacts two types of eternal pastimes, manifest and unmanifest. With the description of Radha and Krishna's swing festival, I, Kavi Kanapur, the crest jewel of Rasiks, conclude the book entitled Ananda Vrindavana Campu, which parallels the Vrindavan pastimes of the Lord described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I have not described the Bhagavatam chapters about the gopis' songs in separation, the killing of Arista and Keshi, the coming of Akrura, and entering the arena of Kamsa, because I consider them unsuitable to the sweet mood of Madhurya Vrindavan. Right, Ananda means bliss, Vrindavan. Campu is like a beautiful poem, descriptive poem. So a beautiful descriptive poem all about the blissful Madhurya pastimes in Vrindavan, Kavikanapur. And he says, the confidential pastimes of Krishna, the embodiment of transcendental wonder, are eternal by nature and constantly present in their manifest and unmanifest form. What is the proof that Krishna's transcendental abode of Vrindavan exists eternally, though invisible to the material eye? In answer to this query, the Srimad Bhagavatam states, this is a verse we've heard before. I believe we heard this in the Rath Yatra pastimes. Jayati janani vaso devaki janma vado, jadu vada parishat swaya dobir asyam, adharmam steta chara virgya, ganasu smita sri mukhena, rajapura vanitanam, vadayan kamadevam. Lord Krishna is he who is known as Jana Nivasa, the ultimate resort of all living entities, and who is also known as Devakinandana or Jashodanandana, the son of Devaki and Jashoda. He is the guide of the Jadu dynasty, and with his mighty arms he kills everything inauspicious, as well as every man who is impious. By his presence he destroys all things inauspicious for all living entities, moving and inert. His blissful, smiling face always increases the lusty desires of the gopis of Vrindavan. May he be all glorious and happy. Okay, so we're going to stop there so that we're going to sing, and today we're actually going to swing. We were looking for days for the swing, and now we have found it. I took a picture of the swing, but now there's 2 kalpavriksha trees on each side of the swing, right? So this is very glorious. They have assumed the form of jewel trees, and we're going to sing this beautiful song and swing for the deities. So we'll stop here. So thank you all. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Sri Guru Parampara ki jai, Sri Radha Krsna ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol.